Hello, everybody. I am back for our third round of Pokemon Uranium. Excited to see the third gym. I actually made it a lot farther than I meant to on the last run through of it. Seems like I kind of got there within 2.5 hours, maybe two, the third gym, but typically with these Pokemon games, they go on for longer for each gym, like the in-between space, so I think having 3 hours should work out pretty well. And the game said there's only 8 gyms, so hopefully I can try to get through it by the end of the week or so. Also, I apologize if I've sounded too low on the past streams. I'm not typically that low of a talker. I think it's just part of me is like trying to be respectful to my neighbors because I do stream at late hours. And also just like the vibe of the middle of the night is calmer. Everything is so quiet outside, like my ears, they just don't think they need to be as loud as I normally am, which is probably true. But I feel like even though my mic is picking me up, it still has that like, I don't know, like a cadence of somebody who's almost whispering. I think that's part of also why I like going out with my dogs at night. That's like the biggest walk I do, other than the fact that it's not nearly as hot for them. One of them has like two, like thick coats, so he really cannot walk for long during the day. And normally everything is like calmer and quieter at night, right? Not tonight. I mean, I don't live in a great area at all. I'm actually probably in one of the worst in my city, but yeah, definitely tonight there was like shooting, and then I saw a guy running, and I was like, maybe I should just go home early. Like, it's not the first time that's happened. This is probably like, no, it's happened like 3 other times just in the past few months. I feel like I've heard that people get more like angry during the summer. Like, it's been reported, I mean, Florida is as Florida does, right? But I have heard that in Florida, because it gets so hot, that people will have shootouts just from sitting in their cars in traffic. Like, the anger of that builds up, and then the anger of how hot it gets, like, fucks with their brains. And then they just start shooting at each other, like, from the cars. Like, I'm not surprised because I've like known people from Florida or like dated people, and every story they ever tell me about it, it does sound just crazy enough that could be real. Not trying to like spread misinformation on Florida, but I wouldn't be surprised if people were doing that just from the heat. Where I live, it's very similarly hot, but it's much drier, thankfully. So maybe that's what holds people off from doing it. I don't know. I can't even drive, so I don't know the level of rage that builds up in people. Like, I don't quite understand it. I'm sure there's like part of it's got to be a fear aspect, because someone having like a whole ass car is basically, I mean, it's a what's it, like a giant weapon, like that is scarier. I ride my bike everywhere, so I completely understand like the anger from somebody almost hitting me when I'm just in an area where they shouldn't even be at, or they should be able to see me because I have like a walk sign or something, and someone like runs a red light on me. Like, I understand getting frustrated with that, but like I've never been somebody who gets angry just sitting in traffic. I don't know. I'm also like a pretty content person, so just sitting somewhere doesn't bother me, because like, not just patience, but like I don't know, I'd like, oh, I can listen to music, or especially if I'm in the car with somebody, it's like, oh, it's just a nice like downtime to talk and kind of not worry about being somewhere so much. But I'm also like clearly an early riser. Like, I go to work at 4 a.m. and I wake up at 8 p.m. So there's like, I'm not late anywhere usually, like I'm just unless something major happens, I get places probably 15 minutes like minimum beforehand. So I do understand people get frustrated because of being late somewhere, because they're just like nervous, or again like afraid of like the consequence of that. But I'm guessing that's like a big part of it too. Most people I know are pretty late to everywhere, or late to work all the time, which is kind of bizarre, but people got whole ass lives outside of work, so I get it. It's never like something that frustrates me. It's only when like I've been at work for 5 hours and I'm supposed to be getting relieved of my shift just so I can go like eat and drink, or like just go to the bathroom, whatever. Like, that is frustrating when nobody's there and you're just like having to handle everything when you already do that anyway. Like, that's a problem. But it's, again, like, people have whole of their lives. It's never like malicious for my experience with people not showing up. And if it ever seems like it is, they're just usually like, you just don't know, or they have the same feelings that you do as a person, where you don't want to be at work every day, or your job fucking sucks. Like, I've done customer service before. Like, I completely understand not wanting to come into work every day, especially because normally nobody that you work with, especially like bosses, I mean, like managers, they just don't really care about you, even the nice ones. Like, I have, issues with my brain, and they still prefer to like put me in danger. Like, every time that it's available, they will put me in a position that's dangerous, and I always tell them, and they'll just argue with me about it and then act like they care about me later, all that family, like, we're a family bullshit. That it's like, yeah, families can mistreat each other, but like, don't claim that you're like treating me like your blood when clearly you wouldn't do this to someone who has this issue. I don't know. People also tend not to understand disabilities, especially ones that are considered invisible like mine, just because I don't visibly look disabled. That shit's really annoying, but you can't do too much about it, just because people are uneducated and ignorant of stuff like that. And even like, my best friend in college was in a wheelchair, and she still had people yell at her because she was able to get in and out of the wheelchair, but she couldn't really walk outside of that at all. Like, she had like dystrophy of like muscles and nerves, so you can kind of like push yourself around with your body. Like, she can still feel her legs, she just doesn't have anything to like use them, right? So you still have to be in like a wheelchair for like 90 to 95 or more percent of the time. So like, she would get out of her car and then get in her wheelchair, and like, old people be screaming at her because she looked too young to be disabled, basically. And that's also been my experience as well. Like, I don't know why people think young people can't be, like, especially people born with them. Me and her both were not born with ours, so I can't imagine what it's like for kids and stuff growing up who also just have trouble socializing with adults. Because like me, like, I know, like, growing up in the South, you're taught to like really respect adults and like your elders above everyone else, and I still have that to a large degree. But when you're a little kid and they're so misunderstanding of anything that you're going through, like, I don't know, that shit's really awkward. You just like, you don't get it as a kid. You don't get how to handle those situations, or to tell them like, hey, you still need to respect me as a human being. Because at least in the South, adults still don't, like, really want, older ones too, they just like don't really see kids as human yet. Like, they'll treat you like they expect you to act like an adult and have the respect for them that an adult would have, or like know how to handle that. But then they don't show you any of that, or they just expect you, like, more of you than you can do all the time. Anyway, I should stop ranting about this and get the game. I don't want to lose too much progress. Let me pull it up and make sure that I'm not blowing my eardrums out or anyone else's. I'm just gonna mute my little background music. Oh, I timed that really good. Let's get this pulled up. Hell yeah. So far, if you haven't been seeing any of my stuff, this game has been good, but it's just it's like a classic Pokemon game, Not immensely different. Oh my god, they were all doing like the head bob from oh, what's it called? That old SNL bit where they go to the club. No one's gonna know what I'm talking about. It's from like the 90s. Anyway, they're all bobbing. All of my Pokemon were like bobbing their head perfectly in time to that, which obviously they would be. Yeah, look at that. Obviously, Lombre is like jumping up and down. Like, everybody's doing the like head banging pose. Oh, there it is at the bottom of the screen. That's great. I love that. I just got to this town, so I don't think I've talked to this person. Some things our machines can't fix? Oh, fuck. That's interesting. Let me see if anybody will give me stuff. Solitude relaxing. Hill Beach. Oh, okay. What? He says he finds solitude relaxing, but then he said he wants to move on to the next city and gym. Oh, shit, they got rain in this game? I don't think it was raining when I entered. I do remember I came from this way and there were trainers on the right side that I didn't fight, and I'm not sure I guess that might be another exit, but I'm gonna go ahead and just like get a little bit of XP. I brought a snack this time, by the way. Last stream, I was starting to feel like ill. I don't know if it was from all the, almost said slapping, all of the flashing. As I was looking at Fake Out, I was looking at all the flashing and it was making me feel a bit like sick or something. Or I just needed food because I don't think I ate enough or just didn't eat before the stream like an idiot. Lumber is not going to be good against Reap here, but I do need to level them up, so... Yeah. Reap, I think, is Gen 4. I really like that generation. I've talked about this probably too much on the last stream, but it's my favorite. I might play Diamond and Pearl at some point. That would be really fun, but I'm definitely not going to play a Pokemon game right after this. I'm hoping to try to get... Oh shit. I wish I paid a little more attention at times. Okay, sheep against sheep. They did say these two are cousins. Let's see what that's like. Little family family violence. That's not domestic violence unless you like live with them, is it? I can't remember what you would... Oh shit. Okay, good. That's all we need. It's familial. I know they have words for like when you murder a family member, like patricide is like you murder your dad. Oh shit. Okay, let's see how this goes. And matricide is like with your mom murdering her. I mean, not anything else, but there's like specific words for that. I don't know about like just getting in a fight with them. Oh, fuck me. Oh, and we were at the same level? Damn. Oh, he has Moxie? I don't know why. It's such a funny word. Like, it's really cute sounding. But maybe it's just the way that I've always heard the word Moxie used. I don't think this is gonna be... Yeah. Anyway. I just need to level up some of these little ones. Okay, they're campers. They're all about 15, 16. The level, I mean. I don't know the age of these people. I'm trying to think. I think this gym leader, I mean, my main Pokemon is definitely over-leveled right now, but the rest of them could get closer to 20. I don't think anybody said what type this gym leader uses, though. The first type was normal, the second one was steel and ground, I think they said, or like rock. Of the population of a given region are trainers who don't work. We ever totally didn't have Pokemon to help. Damn, that is that's an interesting thought. I'm guessing that's a new line written in. Falling boulders. Oh, Glasgow's a cave, so this Mountains Rift delivered true. Feeling hardy. Okay, yes. Oh, two volcanoes. That's a real thing. Volcanoes can form the land in like so many different ways. It's really cool. I mean, maybe not to everybody, but I like science. And the way volcanoes can form stuff, just there's a bunch of things that it can depend on. Like not just like I'm using my hands right now, sorry. Like not with my controller. I mean, I started to like like use my hands to demonstrate shapes. I don't know. I think I was told recently by someone who teaches special needs that with dyslexia, people will often talk with their hands. And I definitely do that, and like I think all of my family members, like my immediate family members, have dyslexia, I'm pretty certain. Like, I know some of us have, like, my dad and my sister were diagnosed, but me and my brother, I would not be surprised at all if we had it. I don't have trouble reading, but I also do have, like, aphasia for my brain issues. It's just, like, general word problems. I'm sorry, wait, what did you say? On this dislike for Sinnoh. Oh, Sinnoh! That's Gen 4, right? It's borderline racist? Okay, wait a minute. Pokemon are they considered a race and not species? Because it would be speciest, right? I mean, I understand, you know, people shouldn't hate on Sinnoh. I feel like I'm saying the name wrong. I don't know if I would see, like, the Japanese, like, characters for it, and I could tell you how it's pronounced, but... I don't think I need any of this necessarily. I don't have a lot of these things, so... I'm just gonna go ahead and stock up on a couple. I know I have that. I should get some of these, right? I'm pretty sure somebody said there was one trainer who had a bunch of poison types. But anyway, yeah. I just have general word problems, and speaking with my hands is definitely something I've always done since I was really little. Like, I talked with my hands so much when I was little, I got made fun of for it, and I got to the point where I just, like, stopped. I really tried stopping doing it. But now I'm, like, not in school where people just, like, constantly berate you for being any kind of different. I've kind of, like, reverted back to using it just because it helps a lot. And I think it was around the same time that I developed the aphasia, so I just really needed help talking. Played outside in the dirt, and we liked it. Honestly, I did both a lot as a kid. I was definitely an indoor-outdoor, like, by a lot. A game set in Tandor. Maybe the one we're playing. It's Pokemon Red not corrupting my children. That's really funny. Why are there so many people in this house? It's like my family. What's crazy about Pokemon never leaves the house. She'd get a job. The world's filled with Pokemon. Enthusiast. Oh, I always like the Pokemon Enthusiast sprites. I don't know if they'll use it in this one because it's a fan game. And they've been kind of using different sprites. Like, they all make sense so far, but typically this would be like a Pokemon like Scientist or something with his sprite. But the Enthusiast, they always had them dressed up like Pikachu or like other Pokemon, and I thought that was super fun. Especially the little kid ones. Oh my god, they're so cute. Because they would have like a full costume on. I'm waiting for one, I can't remember what it's called. Okay. That yellow snake? I have not encountered that quite yet. Sorry, buddy. There was one kid that wanted that Fort Hog. I keep forgetting what it's called. It just looks like Fart Hog to me. Okay. Trying to just make sure I accurately get everywhere. So, Jesus. Sorry, my dog sneezed super loud. But yeah, I need to keep on track. I'm sorry. You couldn't tell. Very distractible. Came from, no matter how far away from home you get. Yeah, it's a little hard to forget at times. It's definitely a big part of everybody. Where you came from, that is. But yeah, I started picking up. I moved to an area that has like a lot of deaf people, so I've been picking up sign language. I always wanted to learn it, but there was just no opportunity to learn sign language anywhere that I lived before. And there was nobody to like, I almost said talk to, but like sign with. So I started learning when I moved here. Trade. Tofering? Oh, I haven't encountered one of those yet. Whoops, sorry. Yeah. But it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely helped my brain kind of connect back to using my hands to talk and just generally how that's helped me talk. Oh, there's our professor. Mate? Are they Australian? I don't think they said mate before. It's been an emergency at Cypress Labs. Ooh. Oh, is this the place? I think this was the place where my mom was working in the beginning cutscene. The break we need. What? Professor Cypress, she'll give you the lowdown on what's happening. Ah, shit. Well, okay. I think this looked like the town, though. I'm not sure. Ernest. I forgot his name is Ernest Bamb. Oh. It's not... I don't know who chose the name. Something about it's really funny, of course. Like, Ernest is just a silly name to me. I don't know. In the South, it's typically not, like, smart people you see with the name Ernest. Nothing wrong with it, because it's kind of like a sweet, like, wholesome sounding name, like, just from the definition of the word Ernest, but it's like being someone named Precious. You can't not think of, like, a hilarious character when you hear the name Precious anymore. You find the thief? Oh, shit. Oh, someone breaking into a lab. Are they trustworthy? They're my assistant. They just said this. Ellie Inn. Yeah, there's some weird names in this. I don't know. I wonder if this game was made completely in the US or not. There's certainly a variety of names, but also just, I think some of them just very made up names. Most valuable thing in here. Oh, Pokemon Speech Translator. I feel like... I think there was another Pokemon, like a canon game that talked about this. Break in if they weren't going to steal the PST. Well, oh shit. Oh, the stolen Pokemon. Oh. Okay. Towards a cave. Oh, God. Another cave? Are you serious? There was so many, there was like multiple caves. It was like, I feel like I spent 90% of the last stream in a fucking cave, and I'm sure it wasn't even that much, but I am not a fan of the caves in Pokemon games for the most part. I do remember Diamond and Pearl having some better cave structures just because they were more varied and interesting. Oh, and Diamond and Pearl also had really good music. I did like a lot of their cave soundtracks. A treat for its hard work. Aww. That's a good thing actually, for people that have pets, especially like dogs that are very like, if you're ever training them, you should always do stuff like reward based and not punishment. They just learn better from that. Just the same with humans, you always learn better from, well, except for trauma, I guess you learn better from punishment then in a sense, but like rewarding somebody for something is always better. So like if your dog gets out or it escapes or whatever, when it comes back to you, you're always supposed to reward it with like a ton of treats and love, like really make it feel good for just being back in the house, even if it ran out on its own. Like it's always like, that's like, they say when you're teaching them the return command, you're supposed to literally keep like when you're first teaching it, like, you know, in case your dog runs across the street, you know, it could get hit by the car, and you tell them to come here. When they come back, you're supposed to have treats that are better than their normal ones. Like some people even buy like steak, like really good, or like just fresh meat and stuff like that for them. It just really encourages them to like come back to you and stick with you. Other than the obvious thing that dogs are like loyal and want to stay with you. I've never had my dogs not like immediately come back. They normally just like run out my yard area. I don't have a yard, but like, you know, right outside my apartment. And they'll do like a couple spins, like just getting excited and hype. They'll like go pee, and then I'll just be like, would you please just come back here? like, are you good? And then they just run back in. All excited. God. But yeah, it's hard to teach them stuff like that because it's so dangerous, but just like any training, you should always do it in like a stable, controlled environment, like at the dog park, like somewhere where they're not totally away from you, but they can get space like off leash while they're outside. Aw. I'll just talk to other people before I talk to my professor. Aw. Like, is there something else? I feel like there's something before that when they're talking about... Oh, I was thinking of, yeah, so the music. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, right? I like the soundtrack. I was wondering, does anybody else, like, I guess before you had, like, if you didn't have internet for a long time,